Have you ever had this experience where one small thing happened? Some inconvenience, somebody say something, maybe a gesture, and that one thing was enough to throw you off for the entire day? If you're somebody who spirals on the smallest of things, who has no control over your brain because your ADHD brain is just all over the place, then this video is going to change that for you. So recently I had this thing happen to me. So one of my colleagues at work, somebody that I usually talk to, say hi to every time I see her, one day decided to not say hi to me. And it wasn't anything crazy. It was just that they saw me, they made eye contact, and they just looked away and they went about on their day. And me, with my ADHD brain, I started going, oh, why did she do that? I was suddenly like, okay, that's cold behavior. Like, why did she do that? And I started thinking about the last conversation that I had with her. And then I started thinking, oh, wait, what did I post on my Instagram yesterday? Like, did she see something? Like, did she get offended? Like, did I do something? And it wasn't like a passing thought, okay? It was me constantly overthinking and overanalyzing the situation. And then out of nowhere, for no reason, I just came into work, saw this girl who didn't wave back at me, and now I was upset. And as the day went by, I kept thinking about it more and more, and I kept getting more upset. And then, out of nowhere, I realized I was getting mad at her. I was mad at this person, not because she didn't wave to me, but because she was also making me upset. She was making me feel these negative emotions right now that I didn't want to be feeling. And then what did I do? I started strategizing in my head. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, next time I see her, what am I going to say? So in my head, I'm either thinking of a comeback that I can do to actually make her feel the hurt that I'm feeling, or I'm thinking of a way to win her over so she says hi to me and I come to this realization that everything is good and safe in my life. And guess what happened? Later that day, I saw her and she told me hi. And she came up to me and she talked to me like nothing ever happened. Because guess what? Nothing had actually happened. This entire conversation, this entire situation, this entire problem was me. I was in my head. I was overthinking. I was overanalyzing. There was literally nothing that was actually that bad. I was spiraling. And babe, if you're somebody with ADHD or just you're somebody who has the pattern of spiraling, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? We take the smallest of the things that's happened in our life and we turn that mole into a mountain. And when we do this, when we overthink, what happens is our entire nervous system goes out of whack. Because for me, I feel like as somebody with ADHD, before my first thought ends, my second thought has already arrived. So if I'm sitting there having a doubt, that doubt is eventually going to turn into upset, and that upset is eventually going to turn into anger. And what is happening is I'm actually going down on my emotional frequency. And when that happens, maybe it's just for 2 hours that I was spiraling and tripping or whatever, but in that 2 hours, I was manifesting. Consciously, subconsciously, I was manifesting upset, sadness, panic, anger, all these negative emotions that I don't want in my life. I manifested it without even knowing it because I was spiraling. And the crazy part is in my story, because the girl came up to me and she talked and we talked it out, I realized that there was nothing actually wrong. But if that would not have happened, it's a loop, okay? It's a never ending loop. You just go into your head and you just keep repeating that thing again and again. And this happens so often that you don't get no closure, you don't get no clarity. So in your brain, you're just thinking, overthinking, looping the same thing again and again, and the manifestation repeats. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nifty, and here we talk all about mindset, manifestation, and personal development. So now I'm gonna tell you some things that you can do instantly the moment you start spiraling, so you can take back control of your head and stop yourself from that spiraling loop and get yourself out of it and get back on track, okay? So the next time you start spiraling or you notice that you're going to go in to the spiral, this is what I want you to do. First step is pattern interruption. Because when you're in the loop, when you're tripping, it is a pattern, okay? It's important for you to break the pattern. It's important for you to do something to get out of the pattern. Because when you're feeling sad, if you just sit there and feel sad, you're gonna feel more sad. In order to stop feeling sad, you have to do something. So what can you do? So the first step is to stop, to notice, and to change the pattern. And if you're somebody who constantly goes into spiraling and you're constantly in these loops, one thing that you can do is to set an alarm on your phone for like every 2 hours to kind of like just check in on yourself. So every 2 hours, when your alarm rings, just take a moment and be like, okay, what did I feel in the last 2 hours? Was I thinking about this thing that I should not be thinking about? Was I spiraling? Or did you actually have fun in those last 2 hours? Did you actually manifest the kind of emotions that you want to be feeling? So, step number two is, how do you actually change this pattern? That is by moving your body. So, something I love to do is to dance it out, or you can even just like stand in one place and just jump, or just like shake it out, or whatever it is. Like just move your body and move that energy that you're holding on to, that looping, spiraling energy. We need to change that. Go for a walk, go for a run, go for a workout, do whatever it is, but do something that changes your body language so you're actually moving that energy. Now, number three is when you start using your ADHD in your advantage. You start comparing your facts and your feelings. Because, like I mentioned in my example, most of the things that were happening to me, it was just my feelings. It wasn't the facts. Was the girl angry with me? No. Did she do anything to show that she was angry with me? No. Do I think I did something that made her upset with me? No. So there were no facts to back up my feeling. So once you start giving that logic to your ADHD brain, your brain's gonna be like, okay, is it actually true, or am I just, feeling it? And once your brain starts to see that pattern that, okay, maybe this is not true, maybe I'm just thinking it. So then it becomes easier for you to stop the spiraling loop and move to something better. And something better is step number four. Okay, personally, this is my favorite step. This is the what if situations. So now, instead of using your ADHD brain to think of all the reasons why you should be upset, you start exercising your imagination the right way. You start thinking about what if possibilities, but all the right what if possibilities. So instead of thinking, oh, why did she do that? I start thinking, oh, what if she just had a bad day? What if she just didn't see me? What if the boss just like called her and told her something upsetting? What if she just got some bad news? Or what if she was just in a rush? It can be anything. And the truth is, none of these things need to be true. They can all be false. They can all be fake. But the important thing is what you're telling yourself. Is you're using these what if situations to assume the best case scenario and to calm your nervous system. And once you do the what if situation, your nervous system is going to be calm enough. And this is when you move into step 5, that is moving from the calm to the positive state. And in step 5, you start doing your positive affirmation. What I personally like to do is I just like to keep affirming something that really resonates with me in the moment. I keep telling that to myself again and again till I finally feel it. I'm a good friend. I'm very kind and understanding of other people. And if I keep repeating that again and again in my head, suddenly I start looking at the situation very differently. I don't look at it as, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Or why did she do that? It becomes more like, okay, there's something going on here, and I need to take a step back and give her some space, right? ADHD is basically your brain living constantly in survival mode. But what you need to understand is that your ADHD brain can be a really powerful weapon. So it's up to you if you want to use that weapon in your advantage, or you're going to use that weapon to self-destruct. So let me tell you another story very recently where I actually used the spiraling method to get out of my own head. Like very recently, I was on a dating app and I was talking to this one guy, and we have been talking back and forth for like 3-4 days, and we planned out a date and everything. The date was set. We decided where we're gonna go. Everything was good. And on the morning of the date, I wake up and I see that this guy had unmatched me. And obviously, my initial reaction was I was sad, I was upset, I was overthinking. I was like, oh my God, like, what did I do? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? I started replaying the whole conversation in my head. I started overanalyzing everything I sent. I was like, okay, maybe I should have sent this instead. All that things that were happening in my head. But then I was like, okay, Nifty, hold on a second. You're going into a loop right now. You need to take a step and just move. And that is exactly what I did. I just put on some music. I danced it out a little bit. I felt a little bit better, like very teeny tiny bit better. And then I started comparing the facts and my feelings. I was like, okay, is it true that the guy was into me? The facts, yes, he was planning a date, whatever. Did I say something that upset him? No, because he was acting all normal till the day of the date. And when I started doing the facts and the feeling check, it kind of gave me the clarity that, okay, you know what? I am not at fault right now. Like, this is not on me. I do not need to feel guilty. I do not need to feel rejected. And then I started using the what if situation. I was like, what if this guy actually like met somebody yesterday night and he just like hooked up with her, and then he was like feeling guilty and he didn't want to see me anymore. So what if somebody dared him to unmatch with me? What if that was a fake profile? What if it wasn't even that guy? What if somebody else was using somebody else's photo to pretend like it was this guy? And the fun part with what if situation is none of this needs to be true, okay? Like all of this is fake, all of this is just in my head, but it makes me feel better to think of these, okay? It's raising me up in my emotional frequency scale. And I started affirming. I was like, you know what? This actually happened for me. Universe was protecting me. This guy was toxic. Universe protected me. Every rejection is moving me closer to my end result. Like I started affirming this again and again till I started feeling better. And guess what happened? Within some time, I was feeling better. I could have chosen to be like, oh wow, he rejected me, he unmatched with me, I'm so sad, I'm so upset. And I could have let that spoil my entire day. And then I could have manifested more shitty things in my life. But I decided to take back control of my manifestations, of my mood, of my feelings, and of my mind. And you need to do that too. Next time you're spiraling, instead of sitting there and spiraling, take that action. Start with step one, move step by step, and take yourself out of that situation. Because when you're feeling sad, it's hard for you to go from sad to happy. But when you follow the steps, you're slowly building up your emotional scale to feel better. And do it as many times as you need to. Maybe you need to do it like every 2 hours. Do it. But it's your responsibility to change your emotional frequency so you can manifest the things that you want. Manifestation is not about how you feel when everything is going your way, okay? Manifestation is how you feel when things actually don't work out. It's about how fast you can recover and go back to being your happy, healthy self. I want you to take out a pen and a paper, and I want you to write down one situation that has been bothering you. Something that you know that you keep spiraling about, something that you keep thinking about again and again. And I want you to think about the what if situations. Like, what if all of that was happening for you? I want you to think about the best case scenarios of what if and write it down. And I also want you to write down some new affirmations for the time the trigger comes up so that the next time it happens, you are prepared. You are prepared to move your body. You are prepared with the what if questions. You are prepared with your new affirmations that will change your entire belief system. That is everything I had for you guys in today's video. If you like the video, do leave a like and comment. Let me know which part of this really resonated with you. And always remember that you are stronger than your mind, okay? No matter how strong your ADHD is, you are still stronger than your mind. And you can learn to use that ADHD in your favor. Because if I can do it, you can do it too. So do subscribe to my channel. I will be coming out with a video next week. And this is going to be a manifestation video. I've been using this one manifestation technique that I think has been giving me really insane results. And I want to talk about that so more of you guys can manifest your dreams faster with less effort. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Bye.